The suspenseful Season 1 finale had a major showdown between Wednesday's friends and Laurel's anti-outcast group, but the show leaves us with more questions than answers than ever before. When the characters go home for a break, Xavier gives Wednesday a cell phone, and later she gets threatening texts from an unknown stalker. In this video, we'll explain the first season's ending and look at how it sets up a Marisha return for Season 2. First off, Miss Thornhill's Laurel Gates twist reveal. The biggest surprise is when we find out who Laurel Gates is. This then follows Tyler being revealed as the Hyde monster, and we all know that Miss Thornhill was a suspicious figure from the start of the season. She was the first and only normie teacher at Nevermore Academy, and her niceness was just a cover for her evil intentions. The bigoted Gates family didn't like outsiders either, and Laurel was the last to die. Wednesday figured out that Laurel was still alive and responsible for Tyler's murders when Eugene brought up Miss Thornhill's famous red shoes at the cave explosion. After pretending to be dead, Laurel Gates returned to Jericho to finish Joseph Crackstone's crusade against outcasts. But she needed the blood of Goody Adams to bring the pilgrim back to life. So Laurel could only have pulled off her plan with Wednesday coming to Nevermore Academy. Before putting her plan into action, Laurel had to trick Wednesday into trusting her, and get this, the Season 1 finale doesn't say for sure that Laurel's dead. But since she was stung by a beehive and stepped on by Wednesday, her chances of living aren't that convincing. It's unclear why Christina Ricci's new character took so long to come back to Jericho, but the fact that she didn't come back until Wednesday suggests that someone else is behind her plans. Up next, who is Wednesday's new stalker? Wednesday's brand new phone started getting texts from someone she didn't know. Since she'd just gotten a cell phone, it's unclear who else besides Xavier would know her phone number. But Xavier was already considered the dangerous Hyde, so it's unlikely he'll be the stalker in Wednesday Season 2. It could be Sheriff Galpin too, since we know he's angry that Tyler was caught, and Lucas Walker because he thinks Wednesday killed his father. Or someone else from Jericho who wants to kill Wednesday because of the murder mystery in Season 1, but it seems like the stalker is an outcast because they were inside Nevermore Academy when Xavier gave Wednesday the phone. In Season 2, the stalker will probably be another student, the parent of a student, or a teacher, and it's possible that the Addams Family show hasn't even met them yet. Followed by, what does Tyler turning back into the Hyde mean for Wednesday? Since Tyler's master seems dead, his violent Hyde side's out of control without someone to tell him what to do. He was chained up and put in a prison van at the end of Season 1, which suggests that he will be locked up in a nearby facility for Season 2. Since Tyler can still turn into Hyde, he'll probably come back, especially if another bad guy takes control of his monster and makes it kill more outcasts. Also, it could mean that he gets out of his chains and goes back to the woods to hunt down people who are different from him. Sheriff Galpin seems to feel bad about what his son did, but he might still help him stay alive and try to control his monster. Tyler's last-minute change back into the Hyde could also mean that Laurel Gates was never his master, and the monster's being unlocked by the same mysterious person threatening Wednesday over text. So really guys, anything could happen at this point. Moving on to, why does Wednesday hug Enid at the end of the season? During the first season, Wednesday and Enid's characters changed each other for the better. This gave Wednesday a level of humanity that wasn't often seen in previous versions of the Addams Family characters. Even though she spent most of the season trying to hide that she was human and cared about other people, the moment she hugs Enid, her heart beats strongly for her loved ones. Even though they didn't like each other initially, Enid and Wednesday helped each other grow as outcasts at Nevermore. Not to mention Joseph Crackstone's outcast plan. Even though the Gates family died and Wednesday seemed to get rid of Joseph Crackstone's ghost for good, the end of Season 1 of the Addams Family TV show on Netflix shows that the mission to eliminate outcasts isn't over. Wednesday wonders if Laurel and Tyler were pawns in a bigger game, suggesting that the plan to eliminate outcasts goes beyond Joseph Crackstone's vendetta in Jericho. If the show returns for a second season, she's likely to find out that another villain has been trying to get rid of outcasts on a bigger scale. The Gates family's plan to kill all outcasts with nightshade poison was probably just one way to eliminate people like Wednesday. After the season 1 finale, the outcasts are still not safe though. Even though Joseph Crackstone won't be a big bad guy in season 2, his goal will likely be carried on by even more influential people. Now let's look at how season 1 subtly sets up the best Morticia return in season 2. Morticia Addams has an excellent critical role in the murder mystery of Nevermore. The central character's death makes her return in Wednesday season 2 even more important. Morticia and her daughter Wednesday have a complicated relationship in the first season of the show. At the start, Wednesday's angry about her mother's legacy at Nevermore Academy. Then the two grow closer as Morticia helps Wednesday understand her psychic abilities. Morticia was also an essential part in the 1990 murder mystery when she accidentally stabbed Garrett Gates as he died from nightshade poisoning. Even though Morticia and Gomez were found not guilty, they still have much power at Evermore. Since Wednesday already didn't want to go to the school where Morticia used to be Queen Bee, season 2 could make the rivalry between the two girls worse. Principal Larissa Weems has died, so Nevermore Academy needs a new leader. Morticia, who used to go to Nevermore, would be a great choice. The Addams family helped make Nevermore what it is today. When Morticia was young, she turned it into her palace, so she'd likely jump at the chance to run the school where Wednesday is now a student. Morticia was also Larissa Weems' roommate, so if she became principal, she'd do her best to honor the memory of the killed teacher. Let's learn more about how Nevermore has to stay open. Nevermore Academy ended the semester early because Principal Larissa Weems died. Tyler's Hyde monster killed people, and the resurrected Joseph Crackstone destroyed the school. Wednesday says that she doesn't know how long the forced break will last, but the school will reopen when the next semester starts. But since so many bad plans were being made inside the school, the staff and donors of Nevermore could choose to keep it closed. Miss Thornhill, aka Laurel Gates, played by Christina Ricci, seems dead, but there are still normies who want to carry out Joseph Crackstone's plan to eliminate outcasts. Coming up, could the Academy be shut down? The killings of Laurel Gates might make you think the Nevermore Academy should be shut down to stop a mass attack on the outcasts, but that'd be a bad idea. In a world where they are usually shunned, the outcasts need to stick together more than ever to rebuild their school, get closer, and master their gifts. Wednesday's outcasts need a school where they feel normal, which is much better than leaving the teens to fend for themselves across the country. Jericho also needs Nevermore Academy to stay alive, so closing it during season 2 of Wednesday would be bad for both outcasts and ordinary people. Finally, it makes sense for Morticia to become the principal. Since Catherine Zeta-Jones's role was so memorable, she deserves a more significant return for season 2. Morticia went to Nevermore Academy and left a significant mark on season 1 of Wednesday. That's why it's likely that the school board would be happy to have her teach the new group of outcasts. Morticia was also tormented by guilt over Garrett's death, which she thought she was to blame for because she was a student at Nevermore. So returning to teach at Nevermore and making friends with Jericho's normies would help her make up for the part she played in Garrett's death 30 years ago. Also, if Morticia Addams became the principal of Nevermore Academy in the second season of Wednesday, she'd be able to talk to the main character a lot more. The complicated relationship between Wednesday and Morticia's one of the most exciting things. Their problems will only get worse if Morticia goes to school every day. For season 2, it'll make sense for Morticia and teenage Wednesday Addams to interact more. But it's unlikely that Morticia would stay the main character for the rest of the show. Instead, Morticia should act as a principal until the school finds a permanent replacement for Weems. Why? Well, because Wednesday needs her time at Nevermore to be her own. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. What do you think of the ending of season 1 of the show? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.